Happy Wednesday, happy August, happy all of the things. I hope you're doing beautifully. Today I feel like speaking, and it's been a hot minute since I have posted a video of me talking on Instagram, and today I feel like doing it. So hi, hello. There is construction happening in the background. 'Tis life. Yeah, I am going to be reading a bit from the journal that I wrote this morning, and also just speaking on sexual energy. That has been something that has been on my mind over the past few weeks, or actually for a while now, and I've just not been sure how I want to share based in format, / language, / words, / all the other things, and I just feel like talking about it today, so hello. To start, sexual energy is so beyond powerful, so beyond powerful. We have been taught to believe that sexuality as a whole is dirty or taboo or should be hidden or is sinful or unholy or all these things, and that's just not true. It's just not true. Sexual energy is life-giving energy. It is creative energy. It is powerful energy. It is pure. It is holy. It is divine. It is all the things. It is what brings life and ideas and manifestations and opportunities and projects into physicality. We bring the energy from up here into this physicality by giving birth. We birth it into this physicality. We birth it into this reality. That is powerful. That is good. And I believe that in order to have a strong and passion-led creative life, we must be connected to and healed within our own sexuality, within our own passions, within our own passions, and within our own desires. We've been taught to hold so much shame around expressing our passions and desires in every form. We repress these parts of ourselves. We repress the parts of ourselves that desire to be wild and free and muzzle these desires completely. Even from a very young age, when we say, I want to be an artist, I want to be an actor, I want to be a musician, everyone around us says, no, absolutely not. You cannot listen to your passions. You cannot listen to your desires. You must become a doctor. You must become a lawyer. You must get a real job. And so from a very young age, essentially we're gaslit into not being able to, into believing that we can't trust our desires. We can't trust our passions. We can't trust our body as a whole. No, we must, the things that our body is telling us, the things that our heart is telling us, the things that our passions are telling us are wrong, are bad. So I am wrong and bad, and I can't listen to this thing. And let me repress it and push it away because clearly it is misleading and it's bad. And that's just not true. It's not true. But that is that's what's given to us through Western culture, through purity culture, through Catholicism culture, from and it's just kind of ingrained into every cell of our Western society. For example, Friday the 13th was a date that's seen as bad and evil and gross and bad luck, when really Friday the 13th originally was a date that was associated with the pagan deity Freya, I believe, and it was for fertility and for sex, and I think in springtime. And this date that was supposed to be fertility, the church was a day about sex? Absolutely not. That is a bad and evil day, and demonized it completely, and now we have Friday the 13th as a demonized and scary day. That's just not how it's supposed to be, but that's the culture that we're in. So, for me, this wind is wilding right now. For me, reconnecting to my body and my own pleasure have been so deeply healing, so deeply healing. Getting used to and embracing my natural body outside of a sexual context has allowed me to reclaim myself outside of the exploitative and shame-based systems that shape our self-perceptions. That's a lot of words. Essentially what I'm saying is that our culture makes it seem like having a body in and of itself is a bad thing. Our bodies are inherently sexual, and that showing any part of your body is a sexual thing, which is then a bad thing because we see sexual things as bad things. And we have just so much shame around our natural bodies. We have so much shame around just existing in the forms that we're in. And so for me, stepping into the practice of non-sexual nudity has been very, very healing for me. What that has looked like is reclaiming my body as an inherently sexual thing to being my own thing that is not inherently sexual, just to be in the body that I'm in because I am in this body, and that's okay. And so that has looked like when I get out of the shower, just gazing at myself in the mirror and being this is my body. Hello. It has looked like dancing nude. It has looked like mirror gazing in general. It has looked like massaging my body and paying attention to every part of my body with intention, being thank you, arms, for what you do for me. Thank you, legs, for allowing me to jump, for allowing me to move. Thank you, hands, for allowing me to create. And also that has looked like a lot of forgiveness and a lot of gratitude. So gratitude of thank you for what you've done for me, and forgiveness of being I'm sorry to my skin that I hated for so long. I'm sorry to my hair that I straightened for so long. I'm sorry to this part of my body that I held so much resentment for so long. And that practice of healing, that practice of recovery, I suppose, of being wait a second, this body is mine, and I'm allowed to be in this body. This body is okay. This body is not a bad thing. And that has all, for me personally, that has looked like a lot of healing within internalized racism, of just like my skin tone and my hair, and like getting used to it and then embracing it and then loving these things about myself. And yeah, and so that has been my practice within non-sexual nudity, and that has allowed me to just like, yeah, be comfortable with myself and be like, wait a second, like my body is not a bad thing. Like I'm okay to just exist in my body. I'm allowed to be nude in my own presence. Like I'm not doing something dirty and gross and bad. Like I'm just existing in a natural state. That's okay. And so this path of healing has led me also to this path of healing led me as well to reconnecting to my own pleasure as I began to get to know and explore my own body in authentic ways, like not seeing my own body through the exploitative lens of Western society, through PORN culture, because I don't want to say it and get this video deleted. That culture that has like made us think that like our pleasure must be exploited, must be utilized, must be capitalized upon, and it must be like directly for someone else, you know, like we're made to believe that our bodies don't have a purpose unless it's to be for someone else, or to be in the male gaze, to be in these things, and that's just like not true. I've allowed, so with that, with getting like with reclaiming my body for myself and being like, this is my body, touching my body is not a bad thing, being in my body is not a bad thing, my pleasure is not a sin. I've given myself permission to explore my pleasure, to explore my body, to explore what I feel called to explore my passions, to explore my desires and aspirations in a greater sense as well, without so much shame, without so much fear, without so much just of the stigma that it's like I'm doing a bad, unholy thing. Purity culture is something else, for real. Like it's like shame culture is just something else, for real. So now I'm able to utilize and harness my own body and sexual energy to connect with my passions and manifest them into physicality. I connect with my own womb space and channel my own sexual energy into my desires, and then to be developed in the universe and birthed into the physicality, into this physical. And so, like, what that looks like, yeah, is allowing myself to hold space for my passions, allowing myself to hold space for my desires, like asking myself, what do I want to do today? Who am I today? What do I want to be? What do I want for my life? Like all these things, and trusting my body's responses, trusting my heart. The word desire, the etymology of it means of God. Like D-E is, and I think in romantic languages and maybe in Latin as well, it means of, and sire means of father. So basically the word is like of the Father, or of God, or of the universe, of source, whatever you want to say. And so our desire, meaning that our desires come from God, our desires come from the universe, our desires come from source, and we can trust them. They're pure. They are meant for us. They're specifically meant for us. And so with that, though, I look at, like, I have a practice of what I call desire discernment. And so looking at the desires we have, or the desires that we think we have, and discerning, okay, does this desire come from a place of love, or does this desire come from a place of fear? Because those are like the two driving forces of our desires. And so an example that I like to use is like, I say, I want to wear makeup every day. And I'm like, okay, does this desire come from just me being like, I feel extra cool when I wear makeup, I like this creative expression, I want to wear makeup because I want to wear makeup, and that's it. Oh, and that's like a love-based thing, so I just am having fun, I'm like being joyful, whatever. Or does it come from a place of like, I feel insecure when I don't wear makeup, I don't like how I look when I don't wear makeup, I don't want people seeing me without wearing makeup, and does it come from that place, which is of fear, of like, I am too afraid to not wear makeup? And so with that, the first desire is like, I just have a desire to be extra joyful. And this desire is not actually a desire to wear makeup. It's not the universe being like, you should wear makeup all the time. It's the universe saying, it's the universe calling us to look at our own self-worth. And it's the universe calling us to look at like how we view ourselves and how we view our bodies. And it's the universe being like, no, your desire isn't to wear makeup. Your desire is to hold more self-love. Your desire is to feel loved by those around you. Your desire is to feel seen. And so that when we are able to like find the root of our desire, we're actually able to act on it and not act in its expressions or in its manifestations that like aren't actually true. Because wearing makeup all the time, when like the root of the issue, it just like is putting a band-aid on the wound, essentially, if that makes sense. And so when we like in my practice of like learning to listen to my passions, learning to listen to my sexual energy, learning to listen to my desires, learning to listen to just my pleasure, I've been able to formulate my life around that and trust the universe trust my intuition more, because our intuition also speaks through our passions, through our desires, through our callings. And that is how I move through the world, move through life, and allow myself to listen to my body. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Mwah. I hope you enjoyed. I would love to hear your thoughts and feelings and all the things. So yeah.